What's up guys, it's Frogfaduck. You may remember when I Game Boy'd, and also when we Nintendo DS, that's still never gonna work. These are both videos that I've already made if you haven't seen them already. But today, we're gonna be finishing what we started. Because today, we're gonna be entering the third dimension. That's right, today we're going to be taking a look at the entire line of the 3DS systems, starting from where the DS line evolved to where it eventually ended. Starting us off today is what came before any of these, the Nintendo DSi XL. I want to start off by talking about this one first because this is where a lot of the innovations of the 3DS came from. Well, everything but the 3D. Also, just to show off that since the last video, I bought another one. And I also got one with a fountain pen. Hell yeah, I didn't get to show this off in the last video. Anyways, that's besides the point. Let's power this thing on. The DSi was a massive step up over the Nintendo 3DS because it had cameras, an actual home screen, music, apps, internet, just a whole bunch of other stuff. And I'm going to be making direct comparisons between this and the 3DS when we go to take a look at it in a second. A lot of what you see here, you pretty much see on the 3DS as well. It kind of feels like a next-gen DSi, but with 3D. It's pretty interesting. So you can see we have a camera, a sound recorder, a DSi shop, download play. We got PictoChat, but we don't have that on the 3DS. We have a web browser, and we have system settings. Well, I think the 3DS might also have system settings, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. The Nintendo DS was heading into more of a casual direction around this time, more than ever before. Just look at this system. This system, with its fountain pen and its bronze and burgundy color schemes, was quite literally targeted for the elderly. So let's just pretend that it's 2010 for a moment. This is the current Nintendo handheld, the DSi XL. The DS line is getting a little bit old at this point. It's still kind of just an updated version of this absolute nugget of a system over here. Nintendo had faced some competition with Sony with the PlayStation Portable, which actually sold pretty well, but also there was another competitor coming to rival both of these. Who could that be? None other than the iPhone. People around this time genuinely thought that the smartphone was going to kill dedicated handheld devices like the Nintendo DS and the PlayStation Portable. So Nintendo needed a way to make the DS become relevant again. What they needed is a next-gen DS, but with a twist. You guys all know where I'm going with this. We cannot talk about the late 2000s to early 2010s without bringing up 3D. 3D was the hot thing at this time. You had Avatar, 3D TVs, 3D movies, and a bunch of other crap that did not sell well. While many think that Nintendo was just jumping onto this craze to earn a quick buck around this time, Nintendo had been developing 3D products for years. I'm fairly certain that they had 3D glasses for the Famicom in the works. The GameCube actually has 3D capabilities built into the system, and Nintendo had been experimenting with Game Boys with 3D screens for years. However, the result of all of those prototypes and experiments would finally see the light of day during the height of the 3D craze with the Nintendo 3DS. This right here is the original Nintendo 3DS, released in 2011. This 3DS still very much resembles the DSi of the past, and pretty much just looks like an updated version of it. But don't let that fool you, this is a full-on next-gen system, unlike the DSi, which was a kinda half-generation upgrade. Right off the bat, I love this design. I am stupidly nostalgic for this design because besides the DSi, which was kind of a minor upgrade, this was a whole new handheld system that I was here to see the release of. Well, yes, by 2011, I still owned my DS Lite and I played it well. This is the DS Lite that I've had since I was 5 years old. It was really showing its age by then. I wasn't able to get a DSi because my parents wouldn't buy me one, so I made sure I wasn't going to miss out on a 3DS. So when 2011 rolled around, I got this one, and honestly, I absolutely love this thing. I was so hyped for the release of this. Me as an 8-year-old going on the primitive internet trying to learn about the 3DS was honestly insanely exciting back then. Immediately right off the bat, you can tell that the 3DS is kind of in a 3-tier design. What's up with that? Well, think about it. 3 dimensions. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but that's too genius to not be intentional. Also, I'm not sure how well you can see it, but if you look at the reflection on the top of the system, it kind of resembles that really cheap way of doing 3D with the cellophane glasses, which honestly I think is an absolutely amazing design cue. But absolutely nothing in terms of design beats the two-tone finish on the inside, the black and blue. This is one of the most iconic and beautiful handhelds Nintendo's ever made. I love this design and I am so nostalgic for it, and it looks even better when it's turned on. I'll show you in a second. So what's the big differences between this and the DSi? Well, you may notice this thing right here. What is this? This, my friends, is the circle pad. Finally, analog controls on a DS. People had been wanting it for years because, well, this is what you were stuck with. Pretty much the same controls as a Super Nintendo, but with this being a more 3D oriented system, both literally and literally, just a standard D-pad would absolutely not suffice, especially going into the 2010s. This was a very, very good addition. One problem though, some of you guys may experience this, the second that this rubber thing comes off, it's just going to continuously slip off every time you go to use it. I mean, if you do it intentionally, yes, but it still does happen. People wanted a second circle pad for proper 3D control like a regular controller. They also want a second set of trigger buttons, so basically like a regular controller. Well, Nintendo agreed, so they released the Circle Pad Pro. This basically adds proper triggers and an extra shoulder button to the 3DS and a second circle pad. Interestingly enough, this actually uses the infrared sensor on here and the back of the 3DS to connect to it. I have got absolutely no software that utilizes this. So basically what you do is you chuck your 3DS in here and boom, now you've got more controls and more of a ergonomic experience. So there you go, you get to see the 3DS and the Circle Pad Pro. What an absolutely unwieldy nugget this thing is. Look at this. If we go around to the back, you'll see that there's a stylus. And actually, it extends. So yeah, we have a wireless slider on this side, a headphone jack on this side, we have a volume, our SD card, we have the charger, LNR triggers, an infrared sensor, the game slot, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So now, without any further ado, let's turn it on. And look at that, you can barely see the screen under this absolutely thrashed screen protector that I've had on since I bought it. Speaking of the absolutely classy design of the 3DS, you can see that the 3D logo here actually lights up. It lights up in this green and it just looks incredible. I love this design so much, I am so nostalgic for it. While the newer 3DS designs may look better, feel better than this one, I just have an absolutely soft spot for this DS design, and it's kind of the last of the sort of DS Lite style DSs that we got. So one of the problems with 3D around this time that Nintendo really wanted to address was the fact that you needed glasses to view it. Nintendo actually developed a glasses-free 3D screen, which used a filter that only let one of your eyes see one part of the screen. It's actually got double the horizontal screen resolution. When the 3D's off, it kind of looks like it's kind of an interlaced image, but as soon as you turn on the 3D, you pretty much see the regular resolution of it. Oh, and how to turn on the 3D? Well, you have this slider here. And something else that other 3D systems around this time didn't let you do was actually dial in how much 3D that you want. So if you want a little bit, you can just turn on just a little bit. If you want the full effect, just crank that really high. And if you want it off, just shut it off. Which honestly really helped the 3DS because most of the time, you had the 3D off. It was a gimmick, especially on this early model, it did not work well. Like, yes, the 3D effect worked amazingly when viewed head-on at the perfect angle, but the moment you turn your head and the 3D effect just completely falls apart. You are not seeing any of this on video, by the way, this is a 2D video. Now you may be thinking, well, what's the comparison between the DSi that you had here? Pretty much the same things that the DSi brought, for example, the camera and the sound recording. Well, the 3DS pretty much had that too. We have the camera and the sound recorder. We'll be taking a look at these in a second. We have AR games, we have face raiders, we have an activity log, and we have system settings. Well, I think the 3DS might also have system settings, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. System settings, let's go! I think to start off, let's do a head-to-head comparison with the camera, kind of like what tech channels do with brand new phones. That's the camera app on the DSi, let's go to the camera app on the 3DS. So, of course, the biggest upgrade between the DSi camera app and the 3DS camera app is that you can take 3D photos with the DSi. That's not right. You can take 3D photos with the 3DS using the two cameras on the back, which I've always thought was cool, but of course it's a gimmick. You can use this to sort of change the focus. This is a good example. You can see on the video the two sides of the screen if I sort of move this around, what each eye would see, and this kind of merges together to make the 3D image. Alright, so here's the camera on the DSi. We need a subject to photograph, so let's photograph this iPhone. So we're gonna have to use the bottom screen to take a look at it, and we press capture. Okay, well that's not too bad. I'll see if I can get the photo from the DS onto my computer so you can see the actual comparison. So now let's do the same thing with the 3DS in 3D. That's giving me a headache, so we're going to turn that off. I will say that the depth of field is a lot more zoomed in on the 3DS. We're going to have to go quite a bit further back. Right off the bat, I think the DSi has a much better camera than the 3DS. This looks like crap. So there you go, guys, the DSi. I think the DSi camera is a little bit better than the 3DS. Let's do a front-facing shot. That's not what I wanted to do. Alright, let's do a front-facing shot. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Not too bad. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so my phone's not liking this right now, it's kind of lagging. Actually, this is a good time for my phone to stop working because we can just record the rest of the video on my 3DS, so let's do this. Alright guys, what's up guys, it's Frogfadoc, and today we're going to be taking a look at the original iPhone. So, as you can see here, it's got this metal and plastic bottom, that's for the antenna, and you can see the screen's broken. But hey, that's alright. That allowed me to get this on eBay for really cheap. And stop. Yeah, so I don't know what it is about the 3DS microphone, but it makes everyone sound really soft and muffled. It's kind of a terrible microphone. Of course, one of the greatest things about the Nintendo 3DS is the games. And here we have the absolutely underrated gem, Super Mario 3D Land. Everyone overlooks this game. This is my childhood right here. What Nintendo did a lot around this era was actually like secret covers underneath the regular game covers, and every single 3DS cover has these little slots so you can sort of look into it and see it. Makes you want to explore it a bit. That sounds wrong, do not take that clip out of context. Pretty sure Club Nintendo doesn't exist anymore, so you just take this, slot it into the back here.
Super Mario 3D Land!
God, that brings a smile to my face. Let's play some Super Mario 3D Land.
It's a good time.
Oh my god. Alright, let's play my 5-star save, because yes, I 100% of this game. Okay guys, banger alert, this song is amazing. Yeah, let's go! Sorry, I could sit here and jam to this all day, but I'm getting some serious nostalgia from when I played this game when I was very young. One thing I'm going to show you while I'm here is actually a speed run you can do on this wall that I discovered. So you can see I've got the best time of 6. How do you get a best time of 6? You can just do this and skip the entire level. You can skip the entire level, which is in that pond below that I jumped over. Okay, I got a time of 7. I have no idea how I did 6, but I think I grinded that a lot when I was younger. And of course, supports full 3D, and if we wait a bit, I'll show you probably the best use of 3D on this entire system. There weren't really that many good uses of 3D on this system, by the way. An optical illusion. We try and go here, but oh no, it's an optical illusion. Mario can't. But if you turn 3D on, you can actually see that this bit actually protrudes out further, and you can use the 3D to actually spot that. So there are actually a few puzzles in Super Mario 3D Land that use this kind of isometric view and these optical illusions, and you need the 3D to see it. That's probably one of the few good uses of 3D on the 3DS, which is kind of depressing, to be honest. That's why you don't see 3D anymore. We have another thing here called Street Pass. If you had your lid closed and you went past another DS, you'd exchange your Miis and friends and stuff. So let's actually go take a look at Street Pass, why don't we? And specifically on this 3DS, since I mained this 3DS for years, so we've got quite a few interesting people on here. You'll notice that the original 3DS has terrible load times that will be fixed with the later models. Something pretty interesting, you can actually run into some special characters here. So you have me here with a gold pants and gold profile, and it's actually from Nintendo. I've got no idea how I got this me in my Street Pass, but I did. I don't know who this guy is, but these two are from Nintendo apparently. Dream, fly like a bird. Yes. Some people have this absolutely filled to the brim with people that they've met. Unfortunately, I live in Adelaide, so I don't know, not really many people walking around with 3DSs and stuff. One really cool thing you can do is play games using some of these me's and the people you find. Here you go, here's actually my latest Street Pass here. So let's play Street Pass Quest. I played a bunch of this when I was younger. This room's useless. You need a me with a white shirt to actually progress. What you do is you hire a hero, but to hire a hero, you need play coins. How do you get play coins? Well, you need, I think, 200 steps. So 200 steps equals 1 play coin. Nintendo thought this would help cure obesity. It did not. So one thing you can do is just close it and then shake it a whole bunch. So this is how we got play coins back in the day, guys. That counted as 7 steps. There's some other bits of exclusive software that you could get that used to work and you won't be able to get for very long because the eShop's closing very soon. We have Nintendo Video. Basically, this service would give you a bunch of videos to watch in 3D, I think. Some of them weren't 3D. So this was interesting when it was around. Yeah, it's gonna say this service has ended. Yep. Thanks, guys. Health and safety information? God, okay, this is one of the best bits of built-in stuff right now. I'm kidding. Apparently I have the Nintendo Anime channel. I think that's my sister who put this one on here, so yep. We've got Nintendo Letterbox. Let's open this one, see what this is about. I don't think I've opened this in years. Oh, it's ended. So this is the unfortunate fate of a lot of stuff on the 3DS. A lot of the cool stuff is just over. What is this? This is 2015. This is puke and it's green. So I was 12 when I did this. Piss. Okay. Alright. Here you go. Apparently here's a bomb that I drew in 2014. And you can speed up and slow it down using the circle pad. There's my me drawing it out. Bomb! Oh my god, it's a bomb! Oh, you think that's a letter in your mailbox? Wrong! Pipe bomb! I have got YouTube on here. I don't think this one works either. This one's probably been discontinued as well. It's like saying there's a YouTube app for the original iPhone. That doesn't work anymore. Yeah, see? Discontinued. Everything on the 3DS is just discontinued now, so... Unfortunately, Can I exit? Okay, I thought I was soft locked. So, as far as the original 3DS goes, that's pretty much it. There are other stuff that I'm going to show you, but honestly, we're going to get to the other systems that have much better screens than this, so I can show you it. Okay, I just realized I was meant to talk about games, and I didn't. Well, I did, but I just got distracted by playing Super Mario 3D Land. So you may notice this little nibbler here on the end. This nibbler was basically to stop you from putting 3DS games into an old DS. But what is honestly incredible is that the 3DS is compatible with the Nintendo DS, which is amazing. Now, one problem with the 3DS is that it's just absolutely tiny. This thing is so small. I'm a tiny guy myself, and even I would bully this thing. But Nintendo didn't like people bullying this thing for being too small. So in 2012, Nintendo released this. The 3DS XL. Now, before we get into this, I'm gonna have to make a bit of a disclaimer. This 3DS is a bit sad. This was the result of a failed Frock product video that never got released. Alright, so now we're gonna start the repair of this 3DS XL. But overall it's in pretty good condition, right? Oh no. The entire system shuts off as soon as the hinge is brought back to this position. I have found the problem. This ribbon cable has been ripped. We also have to take out the circle pad right here. So after seeing another video about this exact same fault that I'm having with the cameras, I decided that honestly, it's just not worth me trying to actually replace it. Because how often am I going to use the cameras on this thing anyway? Oh yeah, that just flew in. Okay, we might not have a working circle pad. That's bad actually, that's really bad. Yep. It's missing its circle pad. That wasn't its original problem, but I made it worse by trying to repair it. So the issue with this particular system is that it would shut off whenever you opened it fully. It's now just substantially worse. So here's a comparison in size, and you can see this thing is just ginormous. And compared to the DSi XL, yeah, the screens are slightly bigger. It's the same size, but honestly, this is a much more comfortable size for a 3DS. The more roundedness of it compared to the sort of boxy square nature of this one makes it a lot more ergonomic to play. This is a good size. I like this. This is not a good system though, because this one is dead. Well, on the brink. It's on the brink of being dead. The home, start, and select button was underneath this sort of material that, as you can see, got completely wrecked from me back in the day using my stylus to press it. Don't do that, it absolutely ruins the material. Nintendo clearly agreed, so they made these just regular buttons. While I do like the size and sort of some bits of the design, I really don't like the 3DS XL's design. I don't know, there's just something about it that's just a bit bland. 3DS XL is very bland compared to the original DS. It's almost like too refined, I guess. It's just, I don't know. Out of all of the 3DS models that released, this is probably the most forgettable 3DS that's been released. It kind of doesn't really do anything special besides just make it bigger, and it looks really bland, honestly, which Nintendo thankfully would fix in later models, but yeah. Let's power it on, if it will let me power it on. Okay, so I think the screen's too far back. Let's power it on like this. It's so dumb, but it'll power on. No, not even. What about like this? Nope. You can see the screen flash just then. This 3DS has absolutely cooked it, man. When it used to turn on, the circle pad was so broken that this thing would just spam out on the screen. Yeah, whatever. This one's absolutely destroyed, but you can see, bigger 3DS, that's all it is. We're not giving this any more airtime. I'm throwing it away. It's gone. Making room for probably the weirdest DS Nintendo's ever made. So in 2013, Nintendo got weird. Like, really weird. So as I alluded to earlier, 3D was kind of a gimmick that didn't last very long. So literally 2 years after the 3DS released in 2013, Nintendo pretty much saw the writing on the wall. 3D's a fad, no one cares anymore. So Nintendo wanted to make a budget-oriented 3DS without the 3D. So a 3DS without the 3D. Its main gimmick just gone. It's just gone. So what would you call a 3DS with no 3D, because it's got 3D in its name? The Nintendo 2DS? This is what I like to call the cheese wedge. So it's a Nintendo 3DS that can't fold. It's a Nintendo 3DS that can't fold. It's just a cheese wedge. It's just a game system. It's a wedge. Honestly, alright, I'm giving this thing too much flack. This right here is a Nintendo 2DS, released in 2013, and people were confused. They did not know what to make of this. So, it's a 3DS without the hinge and without the 3D. But what it lacked in features, it made up in price. This thing was dirt cheap. Especially near the end of the 3DS's life, you could get these things for basically nothing. Now, as 3DS collecting has already become a thing, these things are getting expensive, and especially this particular one. You guys might have already noticed, but this is a translucent DS. Nintendo hadn't done this since the Game Boy Advance, and my god, I'm so happy they brought this back. So here's the thing about this system. I bought two of these. I bought this one and a regular 2DS. I bought this one because the translucent shell is kind of rare, so I bought this one. The listing said not working on eBay, so this is a not working Nintendo 2DS, and the idea was to swap the translucent shell onto the other one to make it a rare 2DS. Now, the listing on eBay said it was not working, dead. However, it lights up. It just works. It works perfectly. I've seen these go for a couple $100 on eBay. I paid $45 for this one. So, people, when they first saw this, were like, okay, this looks like an ergonomic nightmare. But, gonna be real with you, this thing feels incredible to hold. Now, granted, they could have dealt with these corners a little bit better. because your hands just kind of shove into them. But the way these massive triggers feel and the wedge shape really does help with making this thing genuinely feel kind of incredible. I like this. I really like how this feels. We can use the cameras here. Now you guys may be thinking, well, it's got a 2D screen, so does it take 2D photos? Well, no, it still takes 3D photos, you just can't view them. There you go, you can take the same crappy photos we took before, but in 2D, but they're 3D photos that you can view only in 2D. Honestly, I like it. I like this thing. Oh wait, new software. What have we got? Ah, Pokemon Shuffle. This was like a free... Yeah, we'll do that. Here's something interesting. You could receive free software via Spot Pass. So you just get a demo for a game. So while we're here, I suppose we'll take a look at this stuff. So we have game notes. When you've paused the game, you can go to the home menu and start drawing stuff. Yeah, screen works. It's got a really nice stylus. That whole line at the back is for the stylus. God, I just love the way this looks. Look at this thing! What do we get? Oh my god. It's probably one of the last few times you could ever do this because the 3DS eShop, like I said, is closing very soon. Alright, so you have your friends list, that's pretty self-explanatory. You have notifications, which these things are just absolutely annoying. Pretty much just tells you how to use the system and it just keeps popping up. Every time you go to the home menu, it just shows you, oh, you got a new notification, here's how to use the home screen. Yeah, bit annoying, but eventually once it runs out of notifications to send you, it pretty much just shuts up forever. We have an internet browser, and a much more sophisticated one than the one we saw on the DSi. Google or Yahoo? Which one aged better? Let's go with Google. Alright, sweet. So let's search... let's search 2DS. Alright, here we go. Actually, the browser still works phenomenally well on here, even today. Browser doesn't support 3D, just saying it doesn't. So I can show you an image of what a regular 2DS looks like. Let's look at the image. SSL connection failed, yeah. Oh well. If we shine the light behind it, it looks even cooler. Look at that. Oh, that is sick. Here we have Miiverse. Let's open up Miiverse. So this is basically a social media network that Nintendo made. Alright, I am pumped to Miiverse has been discontinued. Everything's been discontinued. Oh, let's see, we have themes. Let's check out themes. Okay, so we can change the theme. We're gonna go with blue, because it kind of matches the look of this DS. And yeah, I say we're gonna go with this one. Let's look at health and safety information Nintendo. Let's look at the eShop. This is gonna be very valuable footage. Why? Because today's date is the 4th of January 2023, and the eShop does not have very long left. While we're waiting for this, some of you guys may be wondering, if you can't close the lid, how do you put it into like sleep mode? There's a slider here. That slider basically makes the system just pretend that it's closed. Interesting solution. It's just one of those things that you just never really think about until you actually own one, then you're like, wait, oh yeah, sleep slider. I've just looked it up and the Nintendo eShop for the 3DS and Wii U closed on the 27th of March 2023. So we still have 2 months to go, but it's still not very long. So let's take a look at the eShop. Here we go. Woo! eShop! And here we go, guys. This is the 3DS eShop. Pokemon, Mario, Animal Crossing, Legend of Zelda. Let's go to Mario. See what we got. There we go, we got Super Mario 3D Land. I've already got it. Oh yeah, we've got Game Boy games on here. Super Mario Land, Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, 3, World. I think if I'm not mistaken, SNES games only work on new 3DS systems, which is absolutely absurd. Oh, what a shame I won't be able to buy Super Mario Bros. 2 anymore. What a shame about that. Anyways, eShop's your standard affair. You just buy games, get demos. Here we go, we got exclusives. Alright guys, let's take a look at the complete list of stuff that's going to be absolutely nuked when the eShop's gone. Pokemon Dream Raider, 80s Overdrive, Steam World Dig, Shin Tensei 4, I'm a bit blind. 3D Sonic the Hedgehog, when the hell did they release that? Yeah, all of this, see all of this? Gone. It's all going to be gone in 2 months, guys. Ooh. Oh, I actually do have this. I'll show you guys Minecraft 3DS edition a little bit later, guys. We got Box Boy and Bye Bye Box Boy, more like 3DS eShop and Bye Bye 3DS eShop. 3D Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Yeah, we just got a whole bunch of games in here, and then we got next page. 2 out of 17, we're not going to look at all of it. Next up, we have AR games. So every single Nintendo 3DS system came with a pack of AR cards. I have got no idea where my AR cards are gone, but there you go, that's what the cards look like. Here's a little interruption. So while I was editing this video, I had a little something come in the mail. That's right, I bought some replacement AR cards. Now what I bet is going to happen is, now that I bought some replacement AR cards, I'm going to find my original AR cards lying around the house, so yeah. Alright, so here are all the AR cards. We have, well, this isn't a card, but it just explains it to you and tells you what there is. The question mark card. This is your main one. Then next up, A2. You got your Mario one. Then you got your Link one. Then you have your Kirby one. Then you got your Samus and your Pikmin one. And there you go, that's AR cards. Now I've got AR cards again. They are probably somewhere lying around in my house, but now we've got a spare set. So one little trick you can do if you've lost your AR cards is just, well, go on to Google Images and just get yourself an AR card. So this is basically augmented reality using the cameras and the AR cards, well, AR card in our case. Search for an AR card. It got it, yes, you can fool it. Hold the system about 30 centimeters away. Oh yeah, you can detect the distance, that's cool. Okay, here we go guys, it's about to spring into life. Oh my god. I remember playing this when I was younger. Let's do shooting. Now you can imagine this with the 3D plus the actual cards would be a lot better. So shoot that one. And then there's a little secret one down there. Yeah! Oh no, I broke the illusion. Hold on, let me cover the card. Oh yeah, I remember these levels. These are great. Ooh. Oh no, it's the dragon. Look how much it lagged trying to load that. You won't be able to see it very well, but there we are. Woo! We bet the game! Wow, it's almost like this is just a tech demo. Oh yeah, AR shoot and me picks. Actually, AR shoot's actually kind of cool. So it's kind of like mini golf, but you use AR. You meant to get into the hole, but I cannot be stuffed. There you go. Oh, never mind. You can still do it from this angle. So that's AR games in a nutshell, basically. Face Raiders. We're going to have to go out of the tabletop set to play this one. To get the full effect of AR games, we're going to go outside and play it. Do you want to try? She doesn't want to try. Anyways, here we have Face Raiders. So we just load it here. Well, I think my dog's not liking the effects of having a photo taken of her because we've got a face for the game. Let's confirm, this is an okay face. So analyzes your face. Yeah, unidentified, has no idea what it's looking at. So basically you just move around and you just shoot the things. Oh no, here comes the final boss. You have to shoot its little crown thing, I think. Damn it. Come on. And that's it, that's level 1 done. And then of course it gets an afro, why not? It's going completely out of focus, there we go. that's Face Raiders in a nutshell, and that's pretty much all the built-in software for the Nintendo 3DS. So we're going to go full steam ahead into the next half of the 3DS family. So here are our 3DS systems. We have the 3DS, 3DS XL, and the 2DS. From here on out, here's where the naming system starts to get just bonkers, absolutely off the wall and confusing. This is the new Nintendo 3DS, released in 2015. The new Nintendo 3DS, as per its name, is a new version of the 3DS. I'm really digging this off-white color. That's not the white balance being off. It is genuinely like a slight cream color. It is beautiful. I love this thing. And the SNES colored buttons, mwah. It's perfect. Not only that, but you know, typically on the 3DS you have this legal garbage on the back, but on here, you get nothing. There is no branding on here. It is completely debranded and it looks beautiful. Why? Because the new Nintendo 3DS, and only the new Nintendo 3DS, has swappable faceplates. So you can actually get a whole bunch of patterns and different looks to customize your 3DS with, and here's all the legal garbage. Here it is. This is where it all sits. So the volume slider's been relocated to up here now. That's where the game slot goes in, and here's a stylus. It's tiny. From here on out, every single new 3DS product has miserable styluses. These things are tiny, these things are crap, and yeah. Underneath here, you have a micro SD card slot instead of just a regular SD card slot like the last several systems had. And also a removable battery. You can just straight up take it out like an old smartphone. Very good for repairs. But you guys may be wondering, well, what is so new about it? First things first, well, it's faster. It has a brand new processor, the loading speeds are so much better. Second of all, remember the Circle Pad Pro? Well, you don't need it anymore, because the controls have been built into the 3DS itself. So sure, you still have your Circle Pad, but now you have a second one. Well, kinda. This is what they call the C nub, and if you've ever used a ThinkPad, it's pretty much the exact same thing. It moves only a little bit, but it, you know, still registers movement. And honestly, it's fine. It's not that good. If you're trying to play a first-person shooter with this, it's really not that good actually. It is kind of crap. But it's better than having nothing, honestly, so it is what it is, honestly. But at the back, you have two more shoulder buttons. So you have these ones and these ones. So, I mean, that's cool, I guess, but nothing really utilized it, so yeah. Let's power it on. But yeah, I will show off the new controls here. We have this C nub right here. It pretty much works like this. It's okay. It's not that good. You can see me using the L and R triggers, so these ones do the cameras, the outside ones, and the inside ones, they switch pages. But now it's time for me to show you the top of the line 3DS. This was also released back in 2015, and it is the new Nintendo 3DS XL. The name just rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? The screens on this are huge in comparison. This is a chunky, heavy, but just durable, firm unit. I love how this feels. Now, in 2015, 3D was pretty much dead, but Nintendo wanted to improve the 3D on the 3DS. So they actually included a sensor that tracks your face and moves the 3D accordingly. Let me tell you, this makes the 3D genuinely actually really good to use. It just came way too late, at a point where nobody cares anymore. So let's compare the size. Pretty much the same size. Compared to the DSi XL, it's a little bit more compact, but the screen's still bigger. And here we have the Nintendo 3DS XL. Now, you may be thinking, this screen looks really good, because this is an IPS screen. An interesting thing with 3DS XLs is that there's kind of a lottery in terms of what screen you get. So you can either get an IPS screen or a TN panel. TN ones, like this bottom screen here, get very washed out really quickly as soon as you go off angle, but this IPS screen has better colors and it does not get washed out ever. It looks incredible. I managed to luck out and get an IPS screen on the top, however my bottom one's TN. Some 3DSs have IPS on both screens. Now, what is this? Homebrew? You're telling me you modded your 3DS? And yes, I did. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get into 3DS modding. If you own a 3DS and you haven't modded it, you are doing yourself a complete and utter disservice. It is one of the easiest video game systems to mod, and the results are just amazing. The amount of games you can play in this nice compact portable package is just incredible. Mod your 3DSs, guys. It is one of the best things you'll ever do. It means you can load stuff up here like Super Mario All-Stars. I've got a whole bunch of other games loaded up here that I've always wanted to try, including Minecraft, the worst way to play Minecraft ever existed. Ways that you can still watch YouTube on your 3DS, and just other software and doodads. Speaking of those play coins, this is an app that gives you 300 play coins instantly. See, we have 208 here. If we open this, of course it's a homebrew app. There we go, now we have 300 play coins. Homebrew software. Another thing I want to show you, we have Quake. I just straight up have a copy of Quake on my 3DS, someone ported onto it, but also a full port of Super Mario 64, not emulated, reverse engineered and ported to the 3DS. And not only that, it has a 60 FPS patch and smooth camera controls using the C-Nub. This is a full-on port of Super Mario 64 that runs absolutely beautifully on here. This is one of the best ways to play this game if you're not someone who swears by the original one. That's just one of the few apps you can get by homebrewing your 3DS. And I'll leave a link to a tutorial in the description on how to do it. It is stupidly easy. It only takes about half an hour, which isn't too bad. Let's play Minecraft, new Nintendo 3DS edition. Yes, it is exclusive to the new Nintendo 3DS. I think this takes forever to load. Here we go, the old Mojang logo. See if I've got a world. Load existing world. Here we go. This shouldn't take too long considering I've already loaded this world. I've already made it. Alright, so here we are. Here's Minecraft on the 3DS. It chugs, it lags, but at least you get full inventory and map control on the bottom screen, which the Wii U version never had. I was extremely disappointed about that. But hey, it works. This is most definitely one of the ways to play Minecraft. And you can see, yeah, the C-Nub's always too sensitive and you can't really do much with it, but it's fine, it works. So that's Minecraft on the new Nintendo 3DS. Just rolls right off the tongue, man. One thing I will try and show you is the advanced 3D, but you can pretty much just move it around like this and it'll just keep adjusting it to the screen, and it looks pretty good as long as it keeps your face tracked. It honestly looks incredible. If you want the best of the best, this is the best of the best. It's got the most features and it's the most solidly built 3DS, but it's not the end of the DS line, however. Shut up, Pokemon Ultra Sun, that just so happened to come with this 3DS. And finally, the 2DS. This hasn't had a new system yet. The 3DS and the 3DS XL got a new system, but what about the poor old 2DS? Well, in 2017, after the Switch launch, Nintendo released one more DS. The final DS ever released. The new Nintendo 2DS XL. Both of these don't have 2D, but you can clearly see they brought back the hinge design. I mean, if you look closely, you can pretty much immediately tell that this is a 3DS XL Lite. It's a bit confusing because this is a new Nintendo 2DS XL, implying that a new Nintendo 2DS exists, but that doesn't exist. They just went straight to the XL model because, quite frankly, just why bother? The XL size is just a lot better anyways, and, you know, they were still selling the original 2DS at that time, so kiddies can go pick up that one. So anything in the new line has the new controls and the faster processor, and that's pretty much about it, really. So yeah, here it is. This is the final DS ever made. And quite frankly, there's not really much to say about it. The black model looks like a smartphone on the top, so that's pretty funny. I absolutely love this modern take on the DS. It kind of feels like when Nintendo went from the GameCube-styled regular DS to the Wii-inspired DS Lite. This here is very much a Wii U-era product, while this is a Switch-era product. Part of me wishes Nintendo kept the DS around, but honestly, as soon as the Switch was announced, that was pretty much the death of the 3DS. And in 2020, the 3DS was finally discontinued after years and years of just slow releases, slow sales, and it's kind of sad, but it was inevitable. And there we have it. We've finally come to the conclusion of the Nintendo Handheld Trilogy, from the Game Boy to the 3DS. To me, this is all a slow evolution from the Game Boy to here, but the Switch to me is kind of a fresh new start because it doesn't really follow the lineage of the 3DS. But I love these systems. Unfortunately, prices for these things are going absolutely through the roof. If you're able to get your hands on a 3DS, definitely do so. They are amazing, especially in modding potential, but yeah, these things are getting extraordinarily expensive, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So, there we have it. I hope you guys enjoyed. My name is Frogfaduck. That's the end of the video. Thanks for watching.